I am Jennifer Widom, Dean of Engineering, and I'm very excited to welcome all of you today to the Centennial celebration of the Department of Materials Science and Engineering. And it's great to see so many people here today. As Bob said, my background is in computer science. And I have to say, one of the things I've enjoyed most about becoming dean is learning about the breadth of engineering. It's quite amazing what goes on across the school. And sometimes I like to give an example of a particular field that I didn't know that much about before becoming dean. And I have to say the example I often use is materials science. And I immediately follow that with what a truly amazing field it is. Materials, of course, is one of the most ancient forms of engineering. The different ages of mankind are defined by materials. But what I've discovered is how central materials are to what we do across the school. So I don't think Bob was exactly exaggerating, even though he was dramatic in his presentation. It really is very foundational. And at Stanford in general, it's sort of in our DNA to work on world's biggest challenges. We like to attack human health, energy, what's the next generation of information technology going to look like? And I realized every single one of those areas actually has materials at the foundation of the new discoveries and the innovation. So part of what we're celebrating today is the rich history of this department. It's not hard to calculate when it was founded, 1919. We're here for the Centennial. But when it was founded, it was called the Mining and Metallurgy Department. And it has transformed over those 100 years, as Bill Nix describes it, quote, from steels to semiconductors to nano and biomaterials. And we'll hear from Bill later today about the history. And I just saw the wonderful book that he's also produced. When I learned about the different departments, I learned that although this department is quite small relative to its peer material science departments, it's not at all small in impact. So it has 3 Clarivate highly cited researchers. Those are the top 1% of cited researchers in the field. This year, Jen Dion won the Waterman Award. That's the most prestigious scientific award given by the National Science Foundation to scientists under the age of 40. It's widely thought to be the best young scientist in the country. So that's quite impressive. We're really proud of Jen's many accomplishments. You'll be hearing from her later today, and we'll be having an event to celebrate that award in November. I hope many of you can come to that event. But I don't want to single out just one faculty member. The faculty in the department is quite amazing. You'll also be hearing from Yi later today, but again, super faculty across the entire department. One thing that I took note of is material science, or MSc we call it, is a small department, but it has a remarkable number of faculty who take leadership roles across the university. And I just made a little list. So faculty from this department are leaders at the Stanford Nanofabrication Facility, at the Stanford Nanocharacterization Laboratory, at a DOE Energy Frontier Research Center at Stanford, at the Tomcat Center for Sustainable Energy. They are co-directors of Stanford's recently launched Storage X initiative, working on challenges in energy storage. The department has the director of the Stanford Institute for Materials and Energy Sciences, which is a joint institute of SLAC and Stanford. The department has the director of the Stanford Synchrotron Radiation Light Source at SLAC. That's actually the former department chair who's taken on that role. The director of the Wallenberg Research Link. I probably missed some, and if you count up, that's more than half of the materials science faculty in significant leadership positions. So I think that really says something about the material of the faculty in this department. And I'll also mention that Persis Drell, who's the provost of the university, is also on the faculty of materials science and engineering. So it didn't take me long as I learned about different departments to see that this particular department embodies some of Stanford's greatest strengths. And I'm going to just mention 3. First, the department is truly interdisciplinary. So at Stanford, we're proud of the fact that we have low barriers to collaboration, and this particular department demonstrates that fact in spades. And they collaborate not just across the School of Engineering, but across the entire university. MSc faculty have joint projects with almost every other department in the School of Engineering, as well as across the medical school and also physics and chemistry. They've hosted some surprising projects. For example, bringing together the fine arts with the sciences, working in collaboration with a lab in Stanford's Cantor Art Museum. Many faculty from other departments have courtesy appointments in MSc because they're collaborating actively. And many students who come to Stanford in graduate programs other than materials science have ended up working with MSc faculty. So that's number one, truly interdisciplinary. Second, as I touched on earlier, faculty in materials science do groundbreaking research in areas that are making headway on some of the world's most pressing problems. For example, they work on biomaterials, which hold the promise for bringing about medical advances, I'd say, of unprecedented scope. They work in several areas of energy and sustainability. They work in photonic, plasmonic, and magnetic nanomaterials, which have great promise in communications, computing devices, solid-state light sources, and biosensors. They're working to understand the behavior of electrons in materials, allowing researchers to make faster computers, but also to make high-throughput brain-machine interfaces. Honestly, that's one of the scariest things that I think that comes out of this department. But the list goes on, and it really does touch every aspect of society and our lives. And you'll hear again about some specific work later today. I have no doubt you'll be dazzled and optimistic about the future of what's coming from this department. And third and finally, and maybe most important, one of Stanford's greatest strengths is its great students. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention and welcome the fabulous students of material science, present and past. Last year, the department conferred about 80 graduate and undergraduate degrees, and over the last 100 years, it's been many, many thousands. There are currently 2,200 alums living all over the world, and we're pleased that many of you are here today. We're grateful for your support of the department. This morning, you'll hear from one of your fellow alums, Craig Barrett, retired CEO and chair of semiconductor giant Intel Corporation, and for 10 years, he was actually a faculty member in this very department. So, in conclusion, this department, Materials Science and Engineering, has an extraordinary 100-year heritage. It's thriving today with a community of fantastic faculty and students, and I hope you'll take the opportunity today to get to know one another a bit better, and it has a bright and very exciting future ahead. So congratulations on your first century, and I'm eager to see what the future brings. Welcome again, and enjoy the day.